can we just talk about Ryan Clark, who I thought, I'm not gonna lie, and I'm an idiot for this. I came on here and I was like, they're just gonna like make fun of him and laugh about it. Man.
They tried. Channing was like, man, you got fired mid-shift.
I told you Channing was gonna go on his head. I knew. Okay,
Channing was like, mid-shift? I never seen nobody get fired mid-shift. And then Ryan goes, man, it was tough. Starts crying immediately. And then they all start crying. And then it's just like, all right, whatever.
No, yeah, so he was crying his ass off and pulled the card. The card I knew he'd pull, and
Card of all cards.
Now here's the thing. He pulled that card more than David Blaine when he was on ESPN. All right. It's a magic joke. It's a magic joke, Kevin. Sorry.
David Blaine is black.
Yeah, and you know, some people don't know, but that's not. I wasn't saying that's a more logic thing. I was saying just the card. It was a magic joke, magic pun. My bad. Anyways,
don't ever make a magic joke.
No, I'm not gonna lie. Me personally, that was a bar. I'll apologize for the joke in the beginning of the episode. Whoosh, that went over your head. You suck. But no, he pulled that card a lot when he was talking on TV about sports, and he kind of pulled the same thing when he did this. What did he say? So he got on here, and he said a few things. So what is it? So Clark laid out all the reasons he believes his departure from ESPN was more of the latter and less of the former. Wait. Oh,
I can never remember.
Oh, wait, here we go. So it says that I don't know why this. It says the latter. Here we go. Let me pull this back up. See if it'll turn off for me. Ryan Clark says he was not laid off. He was fired. Okay. Now, Devin, if you want to explain
semantics, but
you want to explain the difference, because
like when you go about layoffs, like ESPN did lay off a bunch. What Ryan Clark was saying was that they timed his layoff after they already wanted to fire him, and then went on to say that they had no cause to fire him. Which maybe they didn't.
Can you fire someone for being a fucking idiot?
It is because you're a fucking idiot.
Can you? Like, I'm dead serious. Can you?
I don't know how ESPN's contracts work, but I think they have the ability to fire whomever they would like to.
Okay.
But then they I don't think ESPN cares about, like, oh, we wanted to roll it in with layoffs.
Also, I don't care. I'm not some ESPN defender.
No one's an ESPN defender.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't care.
Here's the thing. Ryan Clark's an idiot. ESPN hires idiots. They're both idiots. Like, these are a bunch of dorks.
This is ESPN's
not even
fault.
dorks. Dorks can be smart. Dorks can be cool. They can be geeks. You just don't understand yet. These are idiots. These are just idiots. That's all it is. So he says he was laid off, not fired. And now here's the thing. He does go on to explain, and I'm sure he'll quote it, but he says something along the lines of, well, because he was fired mid-break or whatever, a commercial break. He made a comment along the lines of, like, well, should I just go? And they said, well, yeah, you can. Which, I mean, here's the thing. If I plan on firing you tomorrow and you said that, I mean, what, like, you're kind of just jump starting what we're going to do anyway. Like, if you just hit because here's the thing. ESPN didn't give us their side of the story. Ryan Clark gave us some bullshit side of his story. So we're never going to know how that conversation went. But if we look at
we're never going to get ESPN's
believes,
and I don't want it.
So he was on there, yada, 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 on the pivot. They're using layoffs as a cover and a camouflage for what they already intended on doing. But there was no cause for it. So because there was no cause, you couldn't just fire me. You had to wait until the layoff so you could camouflage it and veil it. If I was laid off like everybody else, it came out on Tuesday. Mine came out on Friday.
Everyone's came out the same day.
But what I'm saying is, he was fired before, right?
I thought it was the same day.
I thought it was the day before. He received that he was losing his job at ESPN as a part of a podcast episode that served, whatever. was okay. Here we go. At the time, Clark said his boss told him they had to let him go when they did in the middle of an NFL show because Outkick was threatening to leak the story first. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I also read that I remember the day Ryan Clark got fired, they said when they did it, it was so that he didn't find out through the media. So I don't think that's a lie. I think they said, and if that's the case, whatever. Former safety said he believes that the connection to Outkick was a sign that someone at ESPN wanted him gone sooner rather than later. All of us. Clark said the sports media company, which is owned by conservative news outlet Fox, whatever. No, not whatever. He said Clark says the sports media company, which is owned by conservative news outlet Fox News, was especially harsh on him in the wake of a controversy last October. I don't think they care that much about what is he talking about? Is this what with Peter Schrager?
No, that was the day he got fired.
That was the day?
I think so.
Are you sure?
The broadcast that he got fired on?
No, that was week 1. That was week 1 Eagles Cowboys.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, no.
Well, that was when he said
that's the non-player in you.
As a player. Yeah.
Well, he said regardless of what he went on there, frustration with Clark peaked with Schrager. The incident in question occurred on Get Up when they talked about CeeDee Lamb dropping a key pass. Clark, who disagreed with Schrager's evaluation, said his fellow analyst's opinion was coming from the non-player in you. Schrager told Clark not to belittle him for having an opinion that differed from the 3 former NFL players, which is another thing. It's like, it's 2026, and I see so many other people do this where they're like, they're the player, they obviously know what they're talking about, they know more, and for the life of me, I can't explain or break down enough how just because you have a guy who may have spent their entire life breaking down a specific side of the ball or breaking down a specific position. Like, for example, if you're a receiver and you spent your entire life running routes and you spent your entire life breaking up whatever corner was in front of you, that doesn't mean, now that doesn't mean you know every opportunity a defensive lineman has or every responsibility a defensive lineman has. That doesn't mean like you in your heart of hearts, you know how to read every single defense the way a quarterback can, or go through the progressions the way a quarterback can, or anything. I get the confidence. Maybe they do. Maybe they understand. They watch film. They don't watch enough. I don't fucking know. But my point is, when you put them in a suit and tie and tell them sit here and talk with guys who spent their entire lives watching the game, breaking down the game, got the job because of their ability to talk the game, not you played the game, let's see if you have the ability to talk it. Because that's what most of these athletes get, is the opportunity because of their experience on the field, not you're good at talking because of your experience on the field. So regardless, they fired Cam Newton. He sucks at talking. That's what it is. Like, it's just Cam Newton was never a talker.
He talks a lot.
But he's not good at it. Sorry.
No, he's just a douchebag. Here's what I'll say about that. I'm not going to say that every non-sports playing analyst is good, and not every sports playing analyst is bad. However, when you're not playing football and you're in the same realm talking about football, you're on the same level. You guys are sitting around talking about football. You're not playing football. You're not coaching football teams. You're not a GM. You're not this. You're not that. So, to make comments, like I'm not saying that Peter Schrager is great at what he does. I'm not saying that Ryan Clark is absolutely awful at what he does.
No, but a day-to-day...
But they're on the same fucking level. They're getting paid the same amount of money. Probably. Who knows?
But on a day-to-day basis, you can watch Peter Schrager from an unbiased perspective go, this is how I feel and this is why. And then you have most people, not most, but a lot of ex-NFL players go, this is how I feel and I know I'm right because I played.
And it's always because, like, when they need to prove themselves, or when they get something wrong, like, well, I'm a player, so.
And I told you, I think
I'm Ryan Fitzpatrick. I know who's good.
And I think I texted this to you, and I wish I said it last episode when we were talking about Ryan Clark, but Manti Te'o. That's the perfect example of someone who
Good.
you could say you could tell me he never played the game, but the way he sits there and breaks it down, whatever, it doesn't matter if he fucking played linebacker. It doesn't matter if he was a Heisman finalist at Notre Dame. I don't know what the fuck was he at Notre Dame? Notre Dame. But I don't
played in the league.
Regardless, it's
Charger.
The only other thing I wanted to see, what did he say? It was funny because he said what did he say? We shied away. I knew I couldn't respond to disrespect. I knew, for a lack of a better word, I knew I couldn't. He's clear about he wasn't laid off. He was fired. He had to tone himself down to match what execs wanted from him, and he said, for a lack of a better word, which I really wish in this case Ryan Clark had a lack of any word, I knew I couldn't be too black.
Cool. Here's the thing. If you actually felt that way or gave a fuck, you would have quit.
Talk about it.
You would have quit. You would have said, I can't be myself. I feel like I'm being discriminated. You would have taken up. ESPN probably has an immaculate HR department. Take it up with HR.
No. What Ryan Clark said is, I sold out for a lot of money, and I would have kept doing it if they didn't fire me.
Literally. Like, you can't sit around and say that they disrespected me and they did all this and they did all that, and then cry about how you lost your job and how much you loved your job and how that when week one, when all your friends are talking about sports, he said that. He said, right now I feel fine because the aunties in the neighborhood tell me I did good for the community. But week one, when all my friends talking about football, doing what I want, friends.
What community? What community? Literally. Man lives in you probably live in a mansion.
He said, when I walk down the street and all the aunties and uncles, he's crying while he's saying
his wife.
The aunties and uncles say, we're proud of you. Thank you for doing what you do for the community.
No.
He feels good there, but he says that he'll feel really bad when week one rolls around and he doesn't have $48 million sitting in his pocket from ESPN. What was Ryan Clark making?
I don't know. Probably a lot of damn money.
I don't know that.
Either way. I don't know. I don't like the whole conversation about, because I'm gonna put it in a better word, since he has a lack of better word.
$2 million a year.
Since Ryan Clark had a lack of a better word, I'll try to give him a better one. He couldn't.
Ryan Clark was making more at ESPN than he was in the league.
He couldn't express his culture as much, or express how.
Quit. You have a platform.
But hold on though. Would you not say that someone like, I don't know, like Shannon Sharp bled through and through exactly who he was as a person, didn't give a fuck, and they kind of would have kept him around as long as he didn't get involved in some shit?
Literally.
Like, you can show who you are and express however you want to be. It's
Does Pat McAfee not curse on live television and be himself and do all this stuff?
That's,
well, what?
Let's be real. They laid all.
Well, at the end of the day, when with ESPN, it comes down to dollars.
Well, that's why they laid all these motherfuckers off, because Pat's bringing in the big bucks.
And Ryan Clark is not worth the $2 million a year he's making.
He's not, unfortunately.
So
sorry,
it's called a layoff.
Or Cam Newton. Cam Newton, he acts and says whatever the fuck he wants.
We didn't even fucking realize Cam wasn't even a part of ESPN.
But if Cam Newton could sit down and actually talk the game, it'd be fine. Nobody cares about your cat in the hat or no one gave a fuck about fucking Shannon Sharp's Southern twang or whatever the fuck was going on. It's like, just talk the game. Just talk the fucking game. I don't care.
But Shannon was entertaining. Cam was not entertaining. RC is not entertaining unless he's controversial. And it's still not entertaining.
That's not entertaining. Yeah, no, it sucks.
It's not entertaining. It's fucking annoying.
So sit on the pivot. Actually, no. How about you sit on it and pivot? Shut up.
Suck a wiener, sit and spin.
God damn.
If you have a problem at your job and you feel discriminated, report it. Take it up.
Get up.
Get up.
Call the police.
Fight for what's right.
Or
Like,
black.
don't wait to get fired and then go, I was being too black. What? What are you talking
Well,
about?
no, he said he no. Well, no, he said he couldn't be.
You're right.
He wasn't allowed to be. Which
But did it help him not get fired?
no.
Okay.
Which is my point.
Then you done fucked up, buddy.
Like I don't like either way. Like I don't know. Whatever. It's
Whatever.
Jeopardy time. It's time for Jep. I don't even care about it no more. We ain't never
Fine.
cared in the first
He'll
place.
be fine.
All right. Let's see.